Welcome to our virtual meeting. Welcome everyone. Past District, DGG Dhafar, welcome. Nice to have you with us. Past District Governor Najad Al-Attasi is with us. I think that's the only Past District Governor we have today. Honorary Member Abdul Nabi Shu'ala and Abdullah Jum'a, welcome. Nice to see you both with us today. Past Presidents, welcome. We have many past presidents today. And other president we have is Mohamed Khaja from SIF Bahrain. Welcome to our meeting. Welcome all Rotarians. I see a lot from Manama, Rotary Club Manama. It's very nice to see you with us today. And I don't see anyone from Adliya, but a couple from SIF Bahrain, which is nice. Rotary Club SIF Bahrain. And
yes, I'm from Adliya.
Oh, sorry, yes. Then I really, in my mind, I called you past district governor when I forgot. Okay, so as sorry, I lost my train of thought there. Okay, so just a quick announcement. We're starting our youth leadership program next Sunday, and we started this last year when Sabahat was youth service director, and Hanadi is doing a very good job with it this year. I will get into more details after the speaker. It's just to let you know what we're doing. A gentle reminder for everyone, type in your name and club in the chat. And if you're a guest, mention who invited you, so we can mention your names afterwards, after the speaker. I believe we have a couple of guests. I will get into that after the speaker because many people will be coming in, and we'll compile it into a list and we'll read them all out after the speaker. Good, so let's begin. Past President Sabahat, please introduce our speaker.
Good afternoon, everyone. Past District Governor Najad Al-Attasi and our Deputy District Governor, our member, past President as well, Dhafar Al-Imran. I think protocol is observed. Now, our guest speaker today is Mohamed Fakhro. We are actually lucky to have him in our meeting because this year is almost like 100 years cinema industry in Bahrain. And his CV states that he's actually a business management graduate from Boston Fisher College. Then he did his master's degree on filmmaking in Paris, Acre International Film School. In between, because he's graduate of business management, he worked in banking industry. I think where he gained what he wants to do in life, and then started doing the feature films, short films, documentaries, commercial and other promotional material for both public and private clients across a variety of sectors over the past 5 years. He has a company called Blue Steel Films WLL in Bahrain right now. And he's actually very rightly said, potentially untapped market for filmmaking industry in Bahrain. And we will recognize his movies with the high quality content, and that will expand the reach of Bahrain cinema. And floor is yours, Mohamed. We are so excited to hear your story, and then of course watch one of your short movie.
Please unmute yourself, Mohamed.
Thank you.
First of all, I'd just like to say thank you for having me here. It's always a pleasure to come back. I came last time in 2019 and it was a great experience. And yeah, other than what you said, you know, we started Blue Steel Films in 2018, and our main focus is to promote and to increase the growth of young or even beginning Bahraini filmmakers. So it's been a fun ride for us in terms of, you know, producing all of these short films and trying to, you know, make the the dreams or the stories come true for all those filmmakers who do want to tell their stories. So that's what we mainly focus on at Blue Steel Films. Other than that, we have, you know, equipment rental, and we do projects, commercial projects as well, just to keep the company running. And so when I first came back from Paris, since then I've produced and directed 3 short films myself, but we've also produced 6 or 7 other short films through our company. And the film that we're going to show you guys today is going to be called Cloven. And Cloven is actually based off of a very popular folklore we have here in Bahrain called, you know, excuse my language, but it's called Ahmar. And since I was a kid, I've always had, you know, this imagination of what she was and how scary she was to me. So I decided to do a short film based off of her folklore. And that's what I believe what Faisal is going to show you today. Other than that, you know, we have a drama film that I produced that if we have time, we'll show that as well. But yeah, my experience of, you know, filmmaking here in Bahrain has been great, to be honest. We met and we connected with a lot of people who share the same interests with us. So it's been quite busy for us. The genres that I like to focus on mainly are, you know, science fiction, thriller, horror, action, not so much the drama comedy genres. And that's what we really want to do in Bahrain, actually, through Blue Steel Films. We want to show the rest of the Gulf that this high quality, high concept projects can be produced here in Bahrain, and we have an immense amount of, you know, talent here in Bahrain with the Bahraini filmmakers. It's just a matter of, you know, showing it to the rest of the Gulf and hopefully, you know, the world one day. And yeah, it's been tough in terms of, you know, getting permits and shooting in specific areas that are a little bit sensitive, for example. We still have a lot of room for improvement, of course, in terms of how we organize these shoots and how we are dealing with the certain specific ministries that we need to get approval for. But the potential is definitely there. And yeah, I mean, I can keep talking and talking about my experience for ages. But if there's any questions that you guys want to ask me specifically about my filmmaking journey, I'd be happy to answer them. And yeah, I mean, whenever you guys want to, you know, watch the short films, or Faisal, if you have any other, you know, questions you want to ask me to answer.
I would suggest we leave the questions for after the movie.
Okay.
We'll because it's part of your presentation.
Okay.
So with that, I will share my screen now. Just
as a disclaimer for everybody, obviously the quality of the movie and the sound and picture quality, it's obviously not the same because it's a shared screen. Just coming from a filmmaker, he would always want his audience to have the best experience when watching, but because we're sharing the screen, it's not the best quality.
Okay, just give me a second. And does everyone hear that?
Yes, it's clear, Faisal, it's clear.
But you hear the
great.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله بس. السلام عليكم. يا مرأة تحتاجين مساعدة؟ هذه المحطة ما تشتغل. المحطة دي ما تشتغل. أبينا أوصلك قدام أقرب محطة قريب من الديرة. تفضلي تعالي.
شو قاعدة انت في هالليل في هالمكان؟ ما حولك احد، مكان يخوف، ما حد، هاي محطة ما تشتغل. الله يحفظك بس ما تخافين على روحك انتي. مسامحها ما حطيت بالي حق المرض. سامحيني يا بنتي، ما شفت المطب. ايش فيها الراديو؟ برجع يشتغل بروحه. خلنا احطه على القرآن. اي طول عليه. من الشيطان
Okay.
شو صار بالسائق بالدريول؟ شو صار فيه؟
احنا
تخرعنا كلنا تخرعنا.
We'll leave it for your imagination.
هذه يا فخرو رجعت على ايام زمان يخافون ام حمار. هذه
هاي ام حمار صدق، هاي ام حمار
والله ام حمار دي
صراحة
حتى الممثل خاف.
صراحة يخرع يعني فيصل شوية.
شوية ايه يعني 1 minute.
Yeah.
1 second. I believe now question number 1 the screen stopped sharing, right? Now it's just the gallery view. I think my screen is not sharing anymore. I just because I can't it's on gallery view, right? Yeah.
Even your screen is already afraid from that.
كمل ايه. And so we'll begin our question answer round. Just
Yes. Can we see the hands? Yes.
Yes.
There is one Sri Nair from
Yes,
Rotary
we'll
Club
start
of
with Sri.
Manama. Sri, can you go ahead, please? Unmute yourself and
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Sabahat. Okay, Mohamed Fakhro is still on somewhere.
Which
on the
one?
line.
Here, yes.
Zinger, this will be Pepsi, but no ice.
Okay.
Yes, he's still with us. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Sri.
Yeah. Mohammed, thank you for the movie.
Thank you.
I think it was, very presented the way I looked at it.
Sorry, you were breaking up. I couldn't hear you. Exactly.
Sri, your voice
Hello.
is breaking up. Sri. Okay, I saw somebody was
Speaking
like,
online?
Sorry,
yes,
sorry, Sri.
DDG
Can you repeat
Daftar Al Imran. Would you like to go ahead? Then,
If,
since
yeah.
Sri has not
If
clear.
it is all right with Siri, I will go ahead. How about Siri?
Yes.
Do you want to continue, Siri, or you're okay?
His
No,
voice is
I'll-
breaking.
If it's okay, I can speak. Dr.
Yes,
Zafar,
go
I can
ahead.
speak
Yes,
after you.
yes,
Go
yes.
ahead, go ahead,
Okay.
go ahead.
All right, Mohammed, thank you very much for this film. But I go like, we saw this film before, but I have just one remark regarding the film. يعني محمد يا ريت يعني the ending was very fast. يعني we were not satisfied. يعني we needed a little bit more action. يعني you left it for our imagination that devil swallowed the driver and nothing is left of him and all that thing. But we didn't see any blood or anything. You know, we want it to be bloody so that it becomes really frightening. So it was you were very يعني polite in the way you presented it, very polite.
Since you mentioned that, you should see the other movie which we were supposed to view, but
see, this is Faisal's fault.
I will send
He
you the
should
link
have.
for that movie.
Yeah, Faisal غلطان كان لازم تراوينا the other movie.
No. Yeah. I'm not allowed to show you the link for that movie.
طيب okay.
It's going to be in cinemas and private showings.
طيب okay, good.
For that movie, yeah.
But what I need to ask you, my friend Mohammed, إنه يمكن madam you are a good family, you are a good filmmaker. It's now at the time of 2 years, 3 years of COVID, which is for us it's worse than Dracula time. You know, maybe it is time for you can make a 10 minutes reportage or something about COVID, since we are in the COVID era nowadays.
Yeah.
Maybe it will be a great idea and everybody will like to see what you're going to tell us. And to pass a message that people are suffering, and you can show the suffering in your film. You know, maybe just an idea. And we are proud of young people like you, ya Mohamed, Bahraini people, and I wish you all the best. Really, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Hello. Yeah. Any other question?
Yeah. Can I go ahead with my question?
Yes, Siri. Please go ahead.
Okay. My question to Mohamed Fakhro is, you're a creative person. I appreciate creative people because I believe I'm not a creative person. I used to be in the media, so I understand media. So I'm asking you, Mohamed, every media is intended to convey message from one person to somebody else, meaning from the producer or director or whoever it is to the audience, viewers. Yes. What does exactly you try to convey when you present or create or make a film? What is the overriding objective you normally try to convey in this one? And the message you're conveying to what sort of audience? The younger one or the older ones like me? That is my question. Thank you. Over to you, Mohammed.
Okay. So the message that I want to send across is there's nothing really special about the message. The reason why I made this short film was because it was such a strong childhood memory of mine. and I am a huge fan of the horror genre, I always told myself that one day I wanted to do a folktale film about Mahmar's character. So I guess the message, if you want to go on the story message, it just basically one of the messages is no good deed goes unpunished, or you know, that's basically it. No good deed goes unpunished. That's the message. You know, the guy offered a ride and was being nice to a lady in the middle of the desert, yet it backfired on him, and then she ended up eating him, and he died. But the reason why I made Cloven is to show that there is a lot of potential in Bahraini stories and Bahraini folklores, because we have so many interesting stories and folklores and myths that haven't been put onto screen, that haven't been made into films. And this was just one of the projects. So even for my next project that I did, which Faisal is talking about, that's going to be in the cinemas, that's also based on Dilmunian, that's also a Dilmunian folktale. So it takes place in 1000 BC during Dilmun days. And my main goal actually for making these proofs of concepts and these projects and these short films, it's mainly to tell Bahraini stories. And that's what I'm going to keep, that's what I'm going to keep doing now and in the future. And I'm just going to do my best to keep telling as many Bahraini stories, folklores, myths as I can, really. And I hope that answers a little bit about your question about what
I think you answered it very well. And so that means you're targeting probably all age group rather than young or old.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you.
Mohamed, can I just say one last thing today?
Of course.
Mohamed, I think if I look at your film, just as to analyze it, I feel that you are passing a message that anyway, in Bahrain, people are nice people. All of them, most of the people are nice. And therefore, sometimes they are too nice, and they don't look at danger in front of them. There are a lot of Mahmars in Bahrain, but we don't want to say who they are. And so, the people in Bahrain are so kind, so nice, so giving, and that is what they get back when they really trust others.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You know, it's very true. It's sometimes from how nice we are, sometimes it backfires on us, and
exactly.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Okay, Sabahat, go ahead.
Yeah, Mohammed, actually, the film industry, with your objectives, like introducing your history, as in like documentaries, but how do you finance them? That is the difficult part of filmmaking, because we are going up and down in the film industry, as you know. Now, movies are almost like, movie theaters are almost like empty, but the Netflix is taking over. Yes. Are you working with Netflix for your movie featuring, or how do you finance them? It's a difficult industry. I know it's a difficult industry, but what is your objective is perfect for our countries, because our countries are like not known well in the West, which is like what you are putting as a voice is perfect. But I want to know, how do you finance them? What are the difficulties in Bahrain?
Sure. Unfortunately, you know, money is a huge factor when it comes to producing these kinds of projects and these kinds of films. When it comes to my short films or my proofs of concepts, what I do is I go to my friends and family, and I ask them, you know, for a little bit of money here, a little bit of money there. Some money comes from the company, some comes from me personally. So it's when it comes to these small projects, you would have to do independent financing. But obviously, when things become more serious and the production becomes a much bigger production, then you would have to go to either a producer or a film financier, or for example, Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu. And to answer your question as well about me approaching Netflix, yes, of course. We will be approaching all of the big players like Netflix and Amazon and Hulu to get these projects developed into, for example, 2-hour feature films or 6-episode miniseries. Definitely. And unfortunately, finding the money is the hardest part when it comes to these projects, because in terms of filmmaking and in terms of getting everyone together, the actors, the crew, these are all possible things. These are all things that we can do. But the money part, obviously, it's something separate. And yeah, it's quite tough to get somebody to trust you and your ability to make the film well or make the project good before he or she invests in the project. That's really the toughest part, is convincing the person or Netflix or Amazon why we should invest in this project.
Yes, you stated very well. It's an investment at the end of the day. I mean, the corporates or like who are aware of your ability, they should invest on your projects.
I hope so.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you very much.
Any more questions?
Yes, there's a question in the chat from Ibrahim Ansari. I can just read it out for him. My question is for Mr. Fakhro. Do you have a filmmaker who inspires you, and what exactly catches your eye with their style?
Yes, I have a lot of filmmakers who inspire me. There is a long list of filmmakers, but I would say if I was going to name one filmmaker who's alive and working today, his name is Denis Villeneuve. He's a French-Canadian filmmaker, and in my opinion, he's the best filmmaker in the world today. I'm not talking about Steven Spielberg or Ridley Scott or Martin Scorsese or Quentin Tarantino. All of these filmmakers, they inspire me. But if we're going to talk about a filmmaker who is in the peak, who's at the prime of his, his ability as a director, my number one director today is a director called Denis Villeneuve. And yeah, he's a French-Canadian director. I don't know if you guys seen his last film called Dune. It was in the cinema recently.
That's really good.
Yeah, and that's just one of many of his films that he's made, which was really good. So I would say he is a director that I would very highly look up to today, working today. Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds like a satisfactory.
Can I ask, give a suggestion to Mr. Mohamed? Yeah, Mohamed, it's a great thing that you're doing and focusing your work on Bahrain. I appreciate it because Bahrain deserves people like you and needs people like you. However, Bahrain has its limitation in size. Therefore, I would say if you move to a larger canvas, meaning a wider world, then you may find bigger opportunities and it may probably reduce your stress on finance. So this is my humble opinion. Thank you.
I know. I agree in terms of, you might be able to find more opportunity in other countries where the film industry is more developed. But the thing is, with the film industry in Bahrain, if we all thought that it's better for us to go outside of Bahrain to get the financing and the funding and the support that we needed, then we in Bahrain would never grow as a film industry. So one of the main things is to, at the end of the day, the stories and the productions that I want to do, I want it to be as Bahraini as I can make it, if you know what I mean. And I wouldn't want to produce something that would do well in another country because I love my country, so I I want to promote it, and I want to expand on the industry as much as I can by providing anything I can really to grow it, to grow that industry. So I guess, you know, in the beginning, obviously a little bit hard, you know, to make Bahrain more aware amongst the other, you know, Gulf countries and, you know, and the rest of the world. But it's a risk that I'm willing to take and that I'm willing to pursue for, you know, for the love of my country and also for, you know, for the growth of the industry. Yeah.
Thank you. I understand. You know, what I meant actually was use Bahrain as a footboard and convey your message to a wider world. That's what I meant. Use Bahrain.
Sorry, then I misunderstood the question. Sorry.
Yeah, stay in Bahrain.
Yeah.
But okay. That was my message. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
No. I will definitely use Bahrain as a tool to convey, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
100%.
Okay, we have a question from Hanadi. Can you please ask your question?
Hello there, Mohamed. I think this is really interesting watching this movie. I enjoyed it very much. I'm very much a movie buff, and I've always wondered why there wasn't more information or more movies about Bahrain in terms of a historical aspect. If you look back at Bahrain during the Dilmun civilization, and then you go to the museums, you find out that Bahrain actually was at one point looked at as a gateway to heaven.
Of course,
so
yeah, exactly.
Famous people in the world would actually take, once they die, they would send their bodies to Bahrain. And then you have these mounds. So when I first came to Bahrain, I was just by chance driving and I see all these burials and I'm like, oh my God, what is this? You know, and then I find out the history and it's just like incredible.
Yeah,
so
exactly. They used to get buried here. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's just so undercovered by the world. And there was, I mean, in terms of history, the geology, I mean, if you look at the excavations and everything that there is, this has to be on film.
Oh, of course, definitely. And that's what we did for the next project that we did. That film actually takes place during 1000 BC. So we get to show ancient Bahrain and the ancient civilization of Dilmun at the best we could. So the Ministry of Culture, they actually let us use the Bahrain fort for 3-4 days to film the last project that I made. And we made everything look as if it was 1000 BC. And it's actually, it's about Dilmunian mythology and it's a Dilmunian folktale. But it's very interesting what you said about people wanting to come to Bahrain to be buried here because they want their soul to live on for eternity in the afterlife. So that was actually when I was working with the Ministry of Culture before we started filming Cult, which is the name of the film. I came across so many stories that, like you said, that are untouched, and it's these kind of stories, they need to be put on film and documented so everyone can see them. But yeah, I actually did want to show that film today here on the Zoom meeting, but we weren't able to. So I was going to mention as well to everybody here on the group, we are going to have a Blue Steel Films screening at Sinopolis Cinema in the Atrium Mall in Janabia. We haven't locked in a date yet, but in that event, we're going to be showing 6 Blue Steel produced films. And the one about Dilmunian mythology is going to premiere at that event. So I would love to, give you guys an invitation once we have a date for you guys to come, see those films. But anyways, going back to your statement, Hanadi, you're right. We have so many stories, and we just need to, tell our stories and make sure that it's portrayed to the region and to the world, because they're amazing stories. Yeah.
Absolutely. And for funding, have you ever thought about going to private equity funds that actually fund these types of young? producers?
I've thought about it, but finding private equity when it comes to film financing is a lot harder than finding, you know, entities and platforms like Netflix or production houses. But yeah, for me, to be honest, it doesn't matter where the money comes from. As long as I have the money to make the movie, I don't really care where it comes from, whether it comes from an individual or if it comes from Netflix or Amazon or whoever. Yeah, it's there's a lot of ways to get the money. It's just about the connections, who you know, who can, and we go back to the same thing what I was talking about. It's all about the trust that that person has before he or she gives you the money, and the trust in the project itself also.
Thank you, Mohamed. There is another question coming out from the Amal Koheji from Rotary Club of Adliya, and then the last, I think, one coming out from past President Fawaz Al-Mannai from Rotary Club of Salmaniya. Amal, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, marhaba. Sorry for joining late, so I missed the talk and I missed the movie even. But I was held back by something. So I'm very, very sorry if this question was asked previously, or whether Mohamed, you actually covered it during your talk. But my question comes to the industry. Now, we talked about the Bahrain industry being very limited and primitive, in fact, in this regard. Even though there's a lot of talent in Bahrain, untapped talent as well as evident talent that is not being used and utilized in the universities, in the schools. I'm sure there's like plenty of talent out there that can make this industry grow and bloom. Where do you see Bahrain going in this regard? What's happening other than investment, other than the infrastructure of this industry not being present and not supporting you filmmakers? I don't see, my name is Amal. I am full of hope and I'm a very optimistic person and I believe in human beings' ability and capacities, but this industry particularly, I feel very sorry for, and I don't see a lot of hope. But what do you see? You're from this industry. Where do you see Bahrain going? And has there been serious steps by the education system, by the government, by anyone to take this forward?
Okay, yeah, no, I completely understand where you're coming from, Emel. Have there been serious steps taken by the ministries to grow the industry? Not really, you know, like we don't have, for example, studios here in Bahrain that you can film feature films or documentaries or events in. We don't have, like you said, you know, the structure there, and we don't have.
Why? My question is why? Because we have the skills and the need. I mean, it can create so many job opportunities, and then which is what we need in this country, right?
True, yes. The thing about us, what we lack are the numbers. So let's say, for example, if you're going to produce a movie that's going to cost around, let's say, 200,000 dinars, and that's being very generous. That's actually a very low budget. How many people in Bahrain are going to go to the cinema and spend enough money on cinema tickets to make sure that that film that you spent 200,000 dinars on is going to come back and even come back with profit? That's the tough part, you know. So,
but you're not producing it for Bahrain. You're producing it for the world.
Well, if you produce it, let's say, even for the Gulf, or if you're going to produce it for the world, it's all about your distribution and who is going to be behind the distribution of your project. Is it going to be a distribution within the Gulf? Is it going to be a distribution within Europe and America? That's really one of the main you know, tools that we can use to make sure that Bahraini talent is known amongst, you know, people in the world. And to be honest, if you do a project that's worthy enough and that's good enough, then you can get international recognition. You can get the support in the distribution from these distribution companies. But to be honest, nowadays, Emel, you don't need so many production companies to distribute your work. You have the entire internet for anyone to see. You have Amazon, you have Netflix, you have Hulu, you have Shahid TV right now from NBC. You have all these platforms to showcase people's works. And so going back to your question as in why don't we have the support, it's because we don't have also so like if it's a Bahraini project and it's going to be produced in Bahrain, you wouldn't get a worldwide distribution if because let's say in somewhere in America, and if we're shooting a Bahraini story, like why would a person in America care so much to see a Bahraini story? There needs to be something in the subject matter that attracts them. There needs to be something in the characters or in the story itself that would attract an international audience. So I believe if we just had a little bit more trust, from let's just.
Seems our speaker has been cut off. We'll just wait for him to come
we
back.
lost him.
We lost him, yeah. I think your question scared me.
Sorry.
No.
حمار صادتها.
After Fawaz, past president, I will raise Mohamed Al-Khadja's question. Now Mohamed will come back because he will see that there is a potential investment. Mohamed Al-Khadja's question was how much approximately investment size for this
Out of curiosity,
movie?
the budget.
لا بيصيدونك محمد. You have to
Now Mohamed will come back. There is
no, he's here. I see him. He joined, but I can't. The audio is not
Mohamed,
connected.
hear us. There is a nice, interesting question coming up.
No, let's go to Fawaz al-Mana'i now. Let him ask his question.
Yes, where is Fawaz?
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. Nice to see you after such a long time.
It's been a while.
It's been a while, yes. I have a question for Mohamed. Mohamed, you touched on a very important subject, and thank you very much for the movie that you presented. It's definitely done in a very high quality, and the photography is amazing. What you touched upon is very important because it's very important to document the heritage of Bahrain and to bring it in a new way, which becomes very appealing to the new generation. It's a mission, really, a mission of us to bridge the gap between what we have enjoyed as folklore stories, heritage, traditions, to connect it to the new generation in the right way. Two of the folklores that come across my mind, of course, what you have suggested or what you have depicted, which is Ahmar. There is another one which is Al-Khadar wal-Leaf. Both of them are really scaring the kids. It's targeted towards scaring the children about, Al-Khadar wal-Leaf comes out in about in the noon time, when it asks, so the children do not go and play while the parents are having a siesta. And the other one is really in the night, so not to wander around by themselves. But what is a serious folklore story, and it is well known all over the Gulf and even in the Persian coast or the Arab coast of Iran, is Abu Darya. And if you research about Abu Darya, and from the tales that I heard from people who pearl divers who are in the sea, stories that they have heard from them, stories that they have personally encountered. And this is very important because this is kind of similar to the Blair Witch Project, which is a low budget that can really become something big. And Abu Darya is something really I would advise you to look into, because there is much more in it, and there is much more adult-oriented horror in it, because it really depicts not only Bahrain but all around the Gulf area,
Yes.
That's my humble request or opinion. Thank you.
I'm really glad that you mentioned Buderia, because just 3 months ago, I started writing, my next project is going to be Buderia. And we're going to focus on, how the fishermen, the pearl divers would go out missing in the middle of the night and they would never come back to the mainland. So actually Buderia I love the story of Buderia. It's a project that I'm going to be working on this year, inshallah. Yeah.
Faisal.
Yes.
Can I just one last comment to my friend Mohamed? Mohamed, we are lucky that we have a guy. His name is His Excellency Abdel Nabi Sha'la with us today, and myself, his assistant. We work together to take care of young entrepreneurs in Bahrain. I know that you need a lot of money, you need a lot of support, but you need to talk to some people. I am disappointed till now, a talented, gifted young guy like you cannot find his financial way through to take care of his dreams. And I am sure that Bahrain is a place that is supposed to take care of its young people and support them. We have a lot of the organizations in Bahrain, but maybe if I give a chance for my friend, His Excellency Abdel Nabi Sha'la, to say something, maybe he can give you some good advice, and I will be happy to help you in the future. Thank you.
Can I comment here?
Yes.
First of all, I'm actually delighted and in a way surprised. I was not fortunate like you all to have met and seen what Mohamed has been producing. And although the film shown is very short, but the message is very clear. And we heard it when we were small and young boys, and when we grew up, he told us about Mahmar and Al-Khadar Leaf and all that for us to keep us frightened, basically to keep us at home, not to wander around, So I think these stories, there should be an interest in within this is the culture of the country, it should be encouraged, it should be supported, it should be brought up, stories that I don't think many other countries can talk about it and can really show it to the rest of the world. And I think I'm surprised, although I know that sometimes some of the roads are very long, but I think with your talents, with what you have done already, I'm sure you have spent a lot of time, lots of effort, and a lot of your own finance. And I don't think you got any return yet out of your investment so far.
No, I haven't.
So I think Abu Ahmed, Dr. Dhafar is right. I think the concerned authority here should support you, because this is one talent that I don't think many in the Gulf has the same, and it has been sort of initiated by people with vision, by young people that can really give their own effort. I don't know if Tamkeen could be approached. They spend a lot of money on many other projects, but this project is itself is a business by itself. It creates opportunity, as one of the members have said. It also reflects Bahrain history and culture and the unique thing about our country, that we should encourage. So I don't know if you have spoken with Tamkeen or.
I have spoken with Tamkeen before. Unfortunately, they don't support projects like this, like film projects. What they told me is that we can support you with the film equipment that you need to shoot the projects, but with the project itself, they don't support financially for these kind of projects. And we already have the equipment that we needed to shoot it. So Tamkeen, unfortunately, we couldn't get any finances out of them. But they said that 2022 is going to be a year of change, and that they're going to be introducing a lot more programs that help with the creative industry. I'm not too sure what those programs are, but they said that 2022 there's going to be a change about that. But I'm not too sure what it is exactly yet.
See, maybe if you have, there is, I'm sure you have your own way, but we can show you the best way to approach His Royal Highness Sheikh Salman. He is very supportive of such ideas, of such projects, etc. I think he needs to be approached for this purpose. Yeah.
If you know someone who can approach him for these kinds of ideas, I would be very grateful, for that. But yeah, it's like you said. I mean, we have so many types of stories, and it's a shame that we don't tell them to the rest of the world, because there's a lot of culture that can be documented, that can be filmed here, and I honestly believe,
Faisal, a short comment, can I, if possible, before we close?
Sorry about that. I'll just we're running out of time, so we'll take two questions. One from Pastor to Governor Judd.
Yeah.
I think sorry,
go ahead.
Khaja asked the question, how much does it cost? He wrote in the chat. Can you divulge that information for us?
How much does it cost for what, though?
Wait, let me read the question again. How much money, he said. I don't know what.
A lot of money.
Okay.
For something, sorry, Ali, thank you very much. For something similar to what you showed us, let's not go bigger.
Okay.
Let's go with the example you showed us. Thank you.
So technically, what I showed you, and this is obviously with discounted prices, with people not even charging me for some of their services. This entire 6-minute film cost around, I'll tell you in dollars, it's around maybe $16,000. So maybe around, 5,000-6,000 BD, around that much, I think.
Okay, thank you.
You don't say it, يعني, this is your cost price. ما يبيعون كذي. You have to be a businessman.
Yeah, sorry, Emma, to interrupt, but we're running out of time. So let's go to the question from John.
Yeah, I mean, thank you, Faisal. Thank you, Mohamed. I mean, as everybody mentioned, we are really in Bahrain proud of talented person like you. And I mean, we learn from our experience. Before a few years, a film production company started or formed in Bahrain. Some business people, I don't know if you know about it.
Which production company? Do you know?
I mean, I don't want to mention the name or the person now, but I mean, I can personally tell you, but we learned from our experience, and it didn't work. I mean, it wasn't successful. I mean, I don't know why, but it's good to communicate with them, to ask them, because financially they are, I think, good, but it didn't work, and they put so much money, and maybe 1 year or 2 years, and they closed down. It's for film production from Bahrain, based in Bahrain.
Okay.
So, I mean,
I'm interested to know who it is, actually.
Yes, you can get my telephone number from Faisal, and if you can call me, and just to find out, it's good information for you.
Of course,
good luck.
Be great.
Yeah, good luck, and wish you all the best.
It's called the Blue Star. I remember them. They invested in an Indian movie and they went bankrupt.
Oh, sorry.
No.
Sorry.
No, it was Bahraini completely.
Yeah, it was Bahraini investors. Anyhow, maybe that's a different one. Thank you, Faisal, for everything. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
We have question time is over. Sorry about everyone. Just to thank you very much, Mohamed Fakhro. This is your. Oh, okay. My green screen is getting in the way. Let me try to switch up the virtual background if I can just do that. Okay. Now you can see it. This is your certificate of appreciation.
Thank you very much.
Your invitation for our members, you can send it to me by email or to Sandra, and we can send it across by email to all our members.
Okay, great.
And let me know if you have any, we want any of the contacts of our members, and we can.
It would be great. I'd love to get in contact with anyone.
Is it free of charge, Mohamed? Is it free of charge?
Is what free of charge?
Attending your movie.
Yeah, of course, it's free of charge.
But that is one of your mistakes. First mistake. You should charge us. We are all Rotarians, wealthy Rotarians, are doing nothing, but keep the money in our pockets. We can always pay you some money, which will make a difference. Thank you.
Maybe in the future. I'll charge you guys.
Inshallah. It could be part of his business plan.